welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who sat next to me in a theater and watched the greatest decapitation of all time. It's John Levengood.
Did I really?
Yes. When we were watching Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets.
Oh my god, that's right. That's right, the fishing decapitation.
So there's a scene in the movie, right, where Cara Delevingne she sees bright lights basically and gets caught by him. And so she gets pulled up and Valerian is like, crap, I gotta go save her. So he jumps on and he attaches himself to this fishing line and that gets pulled up. And as he gets pulled up, you see that's just a large alien fish who must be very strong because he pulls a full man up. But,
I'd say so, yeah.
So
that was a big dude.
Yeah, so he pulls up Valerian with his fishing pole. And so he thinks he probably has like a nice fish, nice snack. And the alien looks at Valerian. Valerian pulls a gun and points it at the alien's face. And the alien goes, like, ah! This alien has a shocked look on his face. And Valerian blows his head off.
He was just trying to pull up the equivalent of a space mullet to eat.
Like they caught Cara Delevingne, but they don't know what they're going to get down there. So he caught Cara. I don't even think he caught Cara Delevingne. It was probably like the jerk next door, next to him. So he pulls up, but I just love the look on his face. Like it was like almost fear and shock and disbelief, and his head blew off. Like his head became liquid.
That poor guy.
His poor head. All right.
Bad fishing day. That was a bad day.
I'd rather get seasick. I've been seasick.
Yeah. So here's a random thing that happened to me like today. Like you're on Facebook and someone sends you a message, and sometimes they send you a meme or a picture. And someone sent me a picture that was a Christmas wreath where when you look closely, instead of holly leaves, it's made entirely of like cutouts of the head of Khan from Wrath of Khan. Is this a thing? Is this something that is a known thing?
The Wreath of Khan?
Yeah.
I know there's Reese. They do the Reese ones. Reese Witherspoon has a reef. Right?
Okay. I got this thing. I was just tickled pink by it.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. The wreath.
Who sent that to me was listener question submitter Dylan from Melbourne.
Oh, dirtbag D.
Cheeky bastard.
We should do a Wreath of the Titans and just do a bunch of Liam Neeson faces.
I thought of Aretha Franklin when you said that.
I'm gonna cut this out because people are gonna steal my idea.
It's okay. We got proof.
That's right. I'm going to sue you.
They got to show us a date. Show us a date.
I'm going to sue you. All right. So, in the words of our former host, who will be back, John Lasvath, I think it's time for listener questions.
Yeah. First question comes all the way from Ireland, and it is Twitter user at the Fear Merchant, who has changed their name for the holidays to the Cheer Merchant.
Oh, that's nice.
And the Cheer Merchant says, who would win in an all-out Arnold Schwarzenegger battle royale with cheese? Conan, the T-800, John Matrix, Dutch, or Jack Slater?
Can we take out T-800?
I mean, do you really think that it has an unfair advantage?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because it doesn't, let's say it doesn't have a gun.
I think it's still going to smush everybody.
Dude, Conan was pushing that thing in a circle his whole life. Like, he's a tough dude. He can take as much damage as one of those, you don't think?
No.
No?
I mean, all right, so for me it's T-800, but then I was like, I took him out of there, and I just went, it's got to be Matrix.
Well, but it's a battle royale. Wouldn't Matrix, Dutch, Conan, and Jack Slater all look at each other and be like, we got to take care of this robot first?
They would all die.
You think it would take them out all at once?
T-100 would beat up Conan, John Matrix, Dutch, Jack Slater, the dude from Eraser, the dude from End of Days, the dude from Last Stand, the dude
all at once.
The dude from Escape Plan, the dude from True Lies, the dude from Body Heat.
Not from True Lies.
He would destroy all of them and then do a thumbs
Not
up.
Harry Tasker.
And then he would bond with a small child and then melt in lava with a thumbs up signal.
All right, okay. Let's say the T. So I think they'd be able to get him if they teamed up like a Royal Rumble. But let's take out the T-800. If there wasn't a T-800, what do you think?
John Matrix.
John Matrix, even though that sack full of marshmallows give him such a good fight.
I mean, the way they
You wrote an entire article about this years ago that we have referenced numerous times, and you're just gonna throw that like he's like the least tough Arnold character ever on that basis.
in the movie though they made him seem like a ultimate badass.
Yeah,
So,
until he fought the out of shape Australian guy.
Behind the scenes, they called him a sack of marshmallows, but on screen, he was a stud.
I'm tempted to say it would be Dutch.
He would just be hiding.
But I mean, see, he's dealt with some really bad stuff, and he thinks about survival more than winning, and I think that will help him avoid making the rash decision of like running in one-on-one to a T-800, which Conan might try to do, and that might end up poorly for
He would
him.
get his head punched off.
So I mean, I think that he's more careful. You know, he's gonna be like, that's a goddamn meat grinder. Like, he knows what he's looking at when he looks at that T-800. He's like, I don't know what that is, ergo I must be careful. I don't know. I think that Dutch, I wanted to say Jack Slater, but it occurs to me that I don't know if a lot of magical serendipity really goes his way when I last watched that again.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would do okay. I think if anybody could kill T-800, it would be Jack Slater.
Just like his hubris would somehow like work out.
I just feel
like he'd do the crazy thing.
The T-800 would be chasing him and like fall into a bog.
Because he's got movie star mentality, right? So like, remember when Vin Diesel leaps from the car on that skyway and catches Letty? Yep. And he's like, how did you know you'd catch me? He's like, I didn't. But he just does the crazy shit all the time. Like, I guess Jack Slater would just do that crazy shit.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, that's why I see it. Now, have you ever thought about this? T-800 hitting quicksand. He would just go right in.
Oh, he'd sink faster than gravity would allow. Like, that'd be the end.
Whereas in my head, right, I'm thinking just like a soccer field. Or I'm thinking like the Hunger Games, I guess. You know what? I'm thinking of the Hunger Games, like the first dome. Where's this battle royale taking place? With cheese. Well, it has cheese. Okay. So if it's a battle royale with cheese.
In a McDonald's.
In a double-decker McDonald's. In the largest McDonald's in the world.
So it's in like Hong Kong or London.
Yes. So it's, I've been in some double-deckers. It is in, well, like what are some other huge restaurants, that serve, I guess royale with cheese. So it's in the largest McDonald's, right? So I think that takes Dutch out of it. Because he can't really do booby traps.
You don't think you could handle that?
And I think bullets go through tables.
But I mean, if there's the thing with the tunnels that the kids can crawl through, I mean, I'm not saying that Dutch would fit. Dutch would not fit comfortably or anything. And then you go down the slide, you end up in the colorful plastic balls.
In my head, I was thinking about him covering himself with like hamburger buns.
What if he emerged from the ball pit, right? Kind of like Sheen in Platoon or whatever.
Yeah, but you know what though? I feel like T-800 has the see-through vision, so he would be like, "There's a man in the balls." Like, wait, I was just Russian. I was a Russian Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So you raw dealed him.
Yeah, there we go. I raw dealed him. So I think T-800 would see Dutch in the ball pit and destroy him. Right?
You don't think, I mean, Dutch has overcome unearthly vision before.
Not T-800 vision. Like, that Predator was a scuzz bucket with a stupid invisibility thing and a rocket thing on its shoulder. The Predator, in my mind, is a wimp. Anything that's invisible and has a shoulder cannon should be able to kill whatever it wants. T-800 would destroy the Predator. He would see Dutch in the ball pit and light him up.
Oh, that's bold. That is bold.
I hope people are fist fighting right now because of this.
I mean, I'm getting like, well, I own the comic series from like Dark Horse from like 20, 30 years ago of Terminator versus Predator.
No, but
like they did not make short work of that.
Wait, Dutch would. All right, so here's what happened. Dutch would get Conan into the kitchen where Conan can't swing his sword. So that's where Conan dies. So Conan dies there, and then the T-800 comes at him. Jack Slater.
Did he use the fryer somehow on Conan? He had to use the fryer.
Yeah, so, well, I think Conan, like, hit his sword into, like, an electricity current and just blew up. Alright? And then, alright, so that's how Conan goes down, right? And then Jack Slater's just kind of chilling, because he knows better. And then, John Matrix is prepping a doomsday weapon while everyone's kind of battling. So then, Dutch goes and hides in the ball pit, T-800 lights him up, Jack Slater tricks the Terminator into going into the fryer, and then it's Jack Slater versus John Matrix, and John Matrix just blows him up.
I'm satisfied with that, although I do like fryer deaths.
Yeah, well, because remember how in C2, how he went into the fryer?
In C2?
T2.
T2.
When he went into the lava, so that's the way he dies.
Sure, yeah.
Sorry to take that over. I had a lot of joy on my face.
Lower him into a ball pit.
I had a lot of... Is this a really deep one?
Just lower him into the ball pit, yeah. I think that'd be cool. There's just some kids playing and they're just like looking over like, huh? And he's just sinking like all the way in somehow. And then like a parent cautiously walks up and just removes their child from the ball pit knowing that he's just laying down at the bottom of the ball pit. It's like there's a stranger in there.
He can leave, but he's too stubborn. Like he already made it.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. So he's always like, I don't want to jump on a robot in a ball pit. That'd be terrible.
It's like, Frank, did you get your daughter out of there? I just got my son out of there. Yeah, let's get our kids out of there.
Sheldon Cooper would be in misery. Bazinga.
I don't even know how to wrap up a question like this.
You know what? Sheldon Cooper wins it all.
Sheldon Cooper wins, because I just keep thinking of random, like, throwdowns in my head between these characters.
I like that we took it to the largest McDonald's in either London or, Beijing or Tokyo.
And that he got T2 descended into a ball pit.
Yeah.
Just waving with the thumbs up or whatever. All right, our second question comes from a Twitter user who came out of nowhere a long time ago, and I've been sitting on this question a while. He's called Marvel Zombie Dude, D-O-O-D. That's at Marvel Zombie K on Twitter, and he asks, when is it Tyler and when is it Jack in Fight Club? So
this question led me down a stupid wormhole because I ended up on this site called jackdurden.com that was promoted by Chuck Palahniuk.
So that thing exists already. You just said a website that really exists right now.
Yeah, jackdurden.com. The author of Fight Club was like, have fun with this. This guy's going around saying that Marla is not even real.
I've heard that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and he makes this massive case for it. And he's saying that Tyler takes over on the airplane because when Jack sits down, he's sitting next to a woman, right? And then he kind of closes his eyes and then he turns back and it's Tyler. So they kind of swapped. She wasn't real the whole time. And then he did that. And then I started reading more and I was like, oh my God. Like I went cross-eyed and there's just so much to this movie.
It's like an abyss of fan theories.
No, I mean, this guy really breaks it down. And for me, I love Fight Club. I skipped school in my junior year to go buy the DVD. I still have it. But for some reason, I've never looked that deep into it. I've never examined Fight Club. I think I just appreciated it as an experience. I never felt the need to do Stanley Kubrick room, 237 levels of investigation. And so as I did this, I was like, holy crap. But the thing is, this Jack Durden, the author, who's really good. That book Lullaby is awesome. But he promoted this site. So, I don't know. That's my answer.
He, unofficially approved of the conjecture in this website.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. JackDurden.com.
Jack Durden. Well, so, like you said, all the times that I've rewatched the movie, basically ever since the first time, it's just me appreciating the nuance of knowing that it's the same human. And I wasn't thinking so much about the dueling personalities. It was just now I know that these two personalities are in the same human. So I was just always busy finding new things like how he reacted to how Jack reacted to Marla in the kitchen of their dump and why he was talking to her so strangely. And it's because, when you realize all those things. Yeah. And so I wasn't really I never thought of it this particular scale, like, now, I did no research, nor have I ever really heard anyone give me theories. So to me, it's really just like, boy, it makes me feel like a really basic chump. But I just always thought of it as they are two battling aspects of his psyche, and it's like they're both always there. It's just that every now and then the conditions and the incentives allow one of them to steal the steering wheel.
We'll take this scene on JackDurden.com. Even when Jack says, now why would Tyler think it's a good idea to save Marla? This is partly a sly reference to the twist ending where we discover Tyler is Jack. But if you take this deeper, you realize it's because if Marla dies, Jack dies, meaning Tyler also dies. If Marla is committing suicide and she is also Jack, then it means Jack will die as well as Tyler. In other words, we are watching Jack lying in the bed trying to commit suicide, calling Tyler at the non-existent Paper Street house. This is the incentive for Tyler to save her. If Jack dies, everyone dies.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I really like it anyway.
I mean, this guy, I'm not even a third through.
I've fallen down rabbit holes of overanalysis myself. I found myself just a couple weeks ago arguing with a friend of mine over the timeline of the Friday the 13th franchise based on a website that he saw where someone proposed a different timeline than I did. And I just was filled with rage. And then later I just realized, like, wait a minute, it's just me watching a bunch of movies, coming up with ideas after I've seen them a whole bunch of times. And someone else did the same thing. The same thing. They're no better or worse than me. Maybe. I don't know. Like, maybe they're smarter than me. Maybe they've seen these more than me. I don't know. Or less. So it's like when people have a different idea like that, I just sit back and it's like, well, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with you, but it sounds like you did a lot of work. So I'm going to give you credit here. And you're making a lot of good correlations. I don't know if I want to know the answer now.
This thing goes deep. But I think that's on purpose. These guys knew what they were doing when they were making this movie. You know what's weird? I read the entire Fight Club book on a flight back from Scotland. We were delayed on the tarmac for like 4 hours, and I read it. And I read it after I watched the movie, and it's one of the more faithful film adaptations I think I've ever seen.
Really? That's actually a very interesting statement.
I mean, just the way that Fincher was able to handle everything and lump everything in was really impressive.
Fincher is very good at sly and complicated.
Yeah, dude. He's doing World War Z too.
I'm curious about that. I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to go see it, obviously, but it's like it's the movie that I feel like I knew was coming, but that I really didn't think that we needed.
I love that first one.
Me too. But I really hope he finds a good way to take it on its own trajectory without, I don't know, studio interference. Well, this worked before, so let's do it again. Like, I really hope we don't fall in that pit.
I don't think Fincher will ever. I don't think they're going to give him $175 million to do this. I think the way he shoots is so expensive, and he takes a lot of takes, and I've listened to interviews with him where he gets mad about people calling him out this. He's like, listen, the majority of the time that we spend on set are between setups. We do a scene or a shot, and then we switch to another shot. That's the long time. He's like, when I have these setups and I have these actors that are being paid millions of dollars, I'm going to make them work. So he makes some pretty good points, but I think when you're doing a film of this magnitude with the shots that are required, with massive zombies and who knows what they're going for, you can't be doing 100 scenes of this just by the expense. So I think if it's more like the ending of World War Z, more intimate, I could see them doing that. So I'm really excited to see it. Like I'm picturing like The Game with Brad Pitt just running around. I don't know, but I'm excited.
The Game.
Well, remember how he's just running around all night, paranoid? So he can do people running around a lot. That was one of his first films, so I don't know. I'm excited. I think.
Oh, that's right. So I thought you meant a video game. I was totally no. I was not picturing Michael Douglas when you said that.
Sean Penn setting him up.
That was a cool movie.
Hey, you want to get into tonight's topic?
Let's do that. Actually, yeah. I mean, we're going to talk a whole lot about DC, aren't we?
A whole lot about DC.
Well, I mean, so what's been going on in the last year with DC? We just had Justice League out.
Oh, you want to hear something cool? So, this is going to be out in an article for Rotten Tomatoes coming up. I kind of broke some stuff down, but I found out. Well, do I want to give this away? All right. Well, Wonder Woman is in the highest and lowest rated superhero films of the year.
Was Batman versus Superman the lowest?
No, Wonder Woman and Justice League.
Justice League is the lowest?
Yeah.
I don't know how Justice League is lower than Suicide Squad.
Oh, just Suicide Squad.
Oh, that was in this year. That was in your. I'm sorry, that's totally going insane here.
Hey, The Shining is better. That's a nice little inside joke. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. But no, DC they exploded with Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins directed it, made about $800 million worldwide. I thought it was warm, fun, great action scenes. However, the Amazonians did give up the high ground really easily against the Germans. You can't call them Nazis because it's World War I, which is weird. But I don't understand why a race of battle-tested veterans give up the high ground so quickly.
Yeah, they didn't strike me as a group that would fall so prone to like a naive hubris.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we have the high ground, let's give it up.
It's like we use outstanding battle tactics after we move to an inopportune location.
Yeah. But other than that, it was brilliant. And then Justice League came out and Zack Snyder shot a lot of it. He had to leave because of family issues. Joss Whedon stepped in. So it's basically a tale of two movies. And they're saying it has made the most, it's the, what do they call it? It was pretty interesting. They called it the highest grossing flop of all time. Because
interesting phrase.
Well, I mean, it made about 300. It probably cost about 300 million to make, and then on top of that, so I mean, it's going to make over 600 million, 650, but they're saying that it didn't make enough.
The new target is like $1 billion. It's what a world we live in.
Yeah, highest grossing bomb ever. That's what they're saying it is. But I'll tell you what, man. I know we're going to talk about a couple things before it, but watching Justice League, I just sat there with my popcorn, and I was able to just enjoy it.
Yeah, same. I was not able to do that as much with Suicide Squad.
Oh, no. That was so bad. But, Justice League, that Steppenwolf, whatever. But I think, what I read a thing on, I think it was The Verge, just a headline where they wrote, Justice League has something for everyone, but no way to fit it all together. And in Justice League, I had fun. There were some scenes that I really liked. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There, and then there were a lot that fell horribly, horribly flat, and then a bunch where I was just like, this is not fitting the magnitude of what I should be watching.
Yeah.
It was all, in terms of appropriateness and scale and entertainment value, this was like just playing Mad Libs with quality.
Hey, so everyone kind of, how about we do this? Enough people have bagged on it about the CGI mustache, right? And just the odd moments, the bad guy, the CGI blobs, the Russian family who's lives.
That was weird, yeah.
Yeah, the Age of Ultron kind of type plot. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about spoilers. I want to talk about maybe 2 scenes that I thought were pretty great. And you can go for more, but I love the scene on, I know the name of this island. Themyscira?
Themyscira?
Yeah, and the scene where they are protecting the mother box from Steppenwolf and his CGI blobs. But I just love that the women just fought their asses off, and a lot of them died just to keep that. It was like, remember that Clear and Present Danger? Where they're like, move, you gotta go. Like, I love that scene where they're blowing up all the cars, but the agent's training her to keep moving. These people had to get it away from Steppenwolf, and I love that scene where those women, like, had those huge hammers, and they just destroyed those.
Oh, yeah, and they trapped themselves in right there.
Was
yeah.
Awesome. Megan was like, my wife just had the biggest smile on her face watching that, because, they weren't like, oh, look at these gorgeous women. They're like, look at these badass women. Like, that was cool. You don't see much of that. And then they destroyed those. They kept moving on horseback. Like, I thought that was one of the more thrilling, fun scenes I've seen this year. It was really well done. I don't know if you like that scene.
That's one of those things where I thought the entertainment value was high, but I thought that the quality was low.
Yeah.
Too much of it felt familiar. Too much of it felt very, very paralleled to the apocalypse trap in X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And And they're running away. I guess that they don't know who this bad guy is, right?
Oh no,
Necessarily, or
they know Steppenwolf because they all teamed up to fight him. Everyone united to fight him, and then they fought him off Earth. That's why he comes back all angry, like, you guys beat me once.
So when I see that, though, then I wonder, why are they even just riding their horses as fast as they can? They know it's useless. Why don't they stay and fight when they literally turn their back to him for when he Hulk jumps over and catches them off guard as a result?
I just like scenes where badasses are fighting something more badass than themselves. And I think for me, there were stakes at that scene, because a lot of those women died. Like that. It wasn't just some.
Oh no, the action was super entertaining again.
I just love. They weren't gonna get away from him, but I don't know. I like that. I felt like there were stakes in that scene.
Maybe to be more fair, to give the counterbalance of the like and dislike, I liked. If you could remove Steppenwolf from all of this scene, I would like all of this scene so much more.
Yeah, if it had been.
If it was some
Superman.
other foe somehow that was analogously dangerous, I'd like it more. But he's doing specifically the Hulk jump that we had never seen before Hulk did it.
What if this was like Red Skull or something like with that kind of power?
Sure, and without a Hulk jump. You know what I mean? Instead of the Hulk jump, leaping out of the apocalypse trap, just... Like, I liked all those woman warriors action was cool, but everything involving Steppenwolf throughout the whole movie, by the way, I felt was just dipping a poisonous finger into a watering hole of great effects and a lot of action and stunt efforts.
Steppen CGI.
He looked dumb. Okay, he looked dumb. He borrowed all of his powers from other movies. That's not, whatever. It's a combination of writing and filmmaking, all these things. And they got such a badass actor. They got I think you pronounce his name Ciaran. Ciaran Hinds or whatever, from Game of Thrones and all these other things. And they make it him, but they have him use a gruff enough voice that you wouldn't know it was him unless you were told it was him or compared it to something else. And then they made it look totally dissimilar to him as well. There wasn't a hint of that actor there. Why get that actor at all?
It's like what they did with Christopher Eccleston in Thor: The Dark World when they made him like the dark elf Malekith.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, I mean, so you wasted a good actor that I was excited about. It's not that you just make it a nobody, because then I'm just not that excited about him. And instead, you specifically gave me something to be disappointed about. It's not like I was seeing it just for him.
There's a theory out there that this was when they originally talked about Justice League, it was 2 parts.
Like Infinity Wars?
Yeah, and the thing is, they're saying that it was going to be Steppenwolf, just kind of like first, and then that would lead to Darkseid.
That's something I don't know the plans, and I don't read the future plans of the next movie coming up, but do they still plan on Darkseid?
No. It all depends. I think it depends on a few things. So Wonder Woman 2 is going to be huge. But if Aquaman, which is directed by James Wan, on a smaller budget, which I think is going to be awesome, and then Flashpoint with Ezra Miller. And the interesting thing is, they got 2 directors for these films that can work on budget. So they're going to scale back a little bit. Not with Wonder Woman, but if Wonder Woman 2, Aquaman, and
Cyborg?
Flash. They have nothing planned for Flash, but they'll probably put him in. They might put Cyborg in Flash, just to kind of build that up.
Flash was too likable not to have a movie.
Yeah, and that kid's a good actor, Ezra Miller. So if those do well, I think if Matt Reeves, the guy who did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes, his Batman does well. Suicide Squad 2 just got a director. I forget his name, but I like the guy a lot. Then you have Harley Quinn. I think if those things hit big, then they will consider a Justice League 2. And they also got I think Henry Cavill deserves another Superman film, because there's moments in this movie where he's smiling. Like at the end when he races Flash, or in the beginning, barring the bad CGI, where he's kind of happy about fighting a hippo. Like, he showed more personality in 6 seconds than he was able to in the first 2 movies he's been featured in. So I'd love to see something with that, but I don't think a Justice League movie is going to be coming anytime in the next few years.
Maybe it's good they pumped the brakes a little bit, because they've just been so ambitious. Because Justice League, they tried to do what Marvel did. It's just, to the same scale almost. It's just that Marvel took 20 movies to introduce us to all these characters and to cultivate our love of all these characters and our knowledge of all these characters and to let us embrace the actors playing these characters. And I'm not complaining about any of the characters in Justice League, but they're just dropping them all in. And all right, well, now we got to give them each enough lines. Not important parts of the plot necessarily, by the way. We just need to force enough lines and scenes in for you to get to know them and like them, because later they're going to have their own movies. It's like, no, do it the other way around. They should have all had their own movies first, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing too much. Like, these scenes, the Amazon one was the best, where he was coming to get his Apoca box, his little apocalypse box.
His MacGuffin?
His Apoca box. And so he went to get his Apoca box, and that was a cool scene. Again, like, I loved everything about that scene entertainment-wise, but I hated the fact that Steppenwolf was in it, and he polluted a lot for me. No. The character, whatever. But, like, when Aquaman goes to Atlantis was like a room.
Yeah.
Do you realize that? Like, so think about how force-fed Atlantis really was to us when they're like, oh, he's going to Atlantis. Well, he just goes to Atlantis when Steppenwolf happens to magically teleport in or whatever to go get his Apoca box. And it's like, this stuff is all too convenient and they're just forcing it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that didn't work for me. I don't know. I loved Aquaman, but I hated that scene. I hated the Atlantis stuff that they force-fed. And they did that with some other stuff throughout the movie, too, where they're just like, here, we gotta make sure we get some scenes in with these actors. And they're all actors that I like, and they're all playing roles that I like. But they're giving me a narrative that doesn't all fit well together. This should have been elsewhere. That's my over-ambitious spiel comparing to Marvel.
The best scene, though, of Justice League did not feature Steppenwolf. It was when it was the gang, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman try to fight Superman, or to try to calm him down. And there's a Wonder Woman and Aquaman are holding Superman, and Flash goes full speed.
Right, yeah.
And so Flash is moving at the speed of light, and then you see Superman's head turning, just looking Flash, and the look on Ezra Miller's face, you're like, holy crap.
Right. He's like, wait a minute, you're fast like me? Shit!
That was awesome. And then when he started swinging at the Flash, I was like, this could kill him. That's the one, AV Club wrote a really great article about this, and they said that, Justice League had one great scene. And I totally buy that. It was, I had a big smile on my face. I think it showed the various powers of them really well. It showed the strength of Wonder Woman. It showed the strength of Aquaman. And I like the three of them. That was when they finally teamed together and they realized that there were stakes. And then I love that Batman showed up panting, and then he got thrown 20 feet and he's like, I'm bleeding on the inside.
Poor guy got his butt beat.
Yeah. And then he had internal bleeding. That one scene made me really happy. I thought it was handled well. And Superman saw the Flash running. In a 4-second scene, there was more personality. So I thought that was cool. And I walked out of the theater and, I was happy. I was happy that Bruce Wayne got his nice cucumber water from Alfred.
Alfred is he is full-fledged Justice League member in terms of his contribution, it seems.
And he makes cucumber water.
He makes Bruce Wayne's bed and still contributes as much to Justice League. He's making his food in his bed, or maybe he's ordering the chef, I don't know. But it's he's managing the house and managing Batman's logistics.
I feel like it's got to get to the point where they're battling Darkseid, and they're like, Alfred, where are you? And he's cutting up a cucumber, just like...
He's poaching some eggs.
Yeah, and they're like, Alfred! And, he's out hunting. He's shooting quail for the night's dinner.
So, yeah, that was nice, and there are some funny things about this movie, too, for me. And again, I was very entertained with the movie, but... how extremely different Bruce Wayne was in this versus, or Batfleck, if you will, was in this versus in Batman versus Superman. Like, in Batman versus Superman, he was just always grumpy and pessimistic, and he never shaved regularly, and he was just like, blah, 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 we need to rid the world of Superman. And now all of a sudden, he's like, let's all be friends.
Yeah.
And hold hands, and we need to be a team and be teamwork. And I'm smiling, and they're shooting me in good lighting all the time. I even freshly shaved once so you could see my shiny, strong jawline. And oh, by the way, let's get into some scientific necromancy and resurrect a dead guy, hoping nothing goes wrong.
And have Cyborg and Flash dig him up slowly.
Like, that's right, that was so silly, too. I kind of was amused by that scene.
That's a nitpick. I like that scene. That's a nitpick.
That's another scene that I enjoyed, that it's like there were things thematically wrong with it, but you couldn't correct that scene without losing what was good about it. I like that scene, yeah.
My biggest takeaway is that stupid vehicle that Batman had that was slower than dirt.
You mean that big, like, four-legged thing?
Yeah, like, what's the point of this?
I think the whole point of that was to force-feed us a scene that shows Cyborg taking over a big ship, like, machine.
I mean, he built that, and it's slow.
I think we only saw it so that Cyborg could utilize it. I think that was the gun on the wall in Act 1, just so that Cyborg could take it over in Act 3.
What about this? Alfred, make an espresso. The machine doesn't work. He goes, Cyborg. That's my English Jeremy Irons accent. Cyborg walks up, pops his little finger in the Nespresso. Boom. Better scene.
Much better introduction to Cyborg's abilities.
Better scene. You're like, oh, I get it. He can fix coffee makers.
Well, it's like there was that, and then there was like, again, these are things that I like about the character, but the way they were presented didn't fit to me. If Cyborg knew already, and he did state this, that his machine body would defend itself if it sensed a threat, and they already talked about bringing Superman back and being worried about how it would go, why is he there?
To spark off Superman.
Right, but again, it's just to show us that can go wrong on him, and for it to create a conflict with Superman. This is one of those movies where everything it's like I could feel my hand being guided. It's like, all right, now we need to do this so that the audience sees this, instead of telling me a story.
Yeah, none of this was in this film, and I guess I expected that and just sat there. I don't know. I'd watch it again. I'd watch it before I watch Batman BVS: Dawn of Justice or Suicide Squad or Man of Steel. Well, I guess if I had to rank all four of these movies, goodness, I would put. How would you rank the DCEU movies right now?
Man of Steel at the top, Suicide Squad at the bottom, and I Justice League and BVS are just too radically different for me to compare.
I gotta put
maybe Justice League is better. Maybe Justice League is above BVS, but not by a lot for me. They're
as far as watching a film goes, I would put Justice League as number one. Because I don't know if I could watch that battle scene in Man of Steel and keep a straight face with all the property destruction.
All the people who are dying in the background.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that would be my number one, I think.
Yeah, I feel like if I watched it again, I would dread every time I knew that Steppenwolf was about to teleport in and grab an Apoca box and leave his insect people behind. And then I'd subsequently be relieved when it's like, oh my god, I get to see these actors just playing their characters for a change. How lovely. It's such, for me, it's such a wave in, I don't know. Yeah, I am not disappointed with this movie, even though there are a lot of things in it that disappointed me.
Gotcha.
I watched it. I'm going to go buy it, and I'm going to watch it again at some point. And before the next major, ensemble DC movie comes out, I will probably watch all the DC movies in order, except for maybe Suicide Squad.
It doesn't work. You don't need to watch that.
Like, that was just, that movie, maybe I'll watch the first 30 minutes and meet the characters and then stop.
Gotcha. Hey, how about we watch the first 30 minutes now?
That's right. Take a little breather and watch 30 minutes.
Let's go. Let's go watch the first 30 minutes of Suicide Squad. All right, y'all. We'll be right back. Enjoy the ads. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I watched 30 minutes of Suicide Squad. Did you watch 30 minutes of Suicide Squad, Levin Good?
Sorry. I just woke up. Hold on. I gotta go pause Suicide Squad. Apparently I fell asleep before the credits. Thank the Lord.
I actually just watched the scene where he ate ribs in front of a window.
That's the best possible thing I could hope to see just on a loop instead of watching Suicide Squad from start to finish.
Oh my gosh. You know how I do all my dumb data? I want to do a rib post.
Yeah, Suicide.
Where did he get those ribs?
Poor Suicide Squad.
Did he go out to dinner with her and like get ribs and then like take them back to the hotel in a box and then just eat them in front of a window while contemplating things?
I mean, that sounds like a very credible narrative.
If you want to think deep, I don't think ribs are the best thing to eat while thinking.
Because, like, 10 minutes into your deep thoughts, you're going to be like, mm-mm.
No, because, like, your fingers...
I got to go run to the bathroom.
No, like, your fingers are dirty.
No, I know. Yeah, like, it's smack. It's hard to unless you go wash your hands, it's hard to ever get your hands feeling normal.
You probably have barbecue on your face. Like, I'm not going to do deep thoughts if I know barbecue is on my nose.
Like, I don't think that physicists go out to lunch and discuss theories over ribs.
What do you think about, like, French fries?
So yeah, a little greasy, but easily solved. Like, you could do some French fries.
Thinking, well, like almonds, you don't want to do almonds because they're in a bag or a tin. That's really terrible. You don't want to have, when you're thinking, you don't want to have to hunt for one almond.
Hidden among all those junk peanuts they put in the mix.
You know what would be the worst are those jelly bellies where you're like, man, I just gotta contemplate life. You know, my girlfriend's a demon. Ooh, this is strawberry.
My girlfriend's a demon.
She's like taking over, and I gotta lead this squad. Ooh, cotton candy.
Yeah, totally unrelated, but I was sorry to not see that actor in Narcos season 2 on Netflix. Maybe that goes with the history of how things really went and all, but I really liked him in that show.
Joel Kinnaman? He was in The Killing. No. Yeah, The Killing on AMC. Are we talking about
what I'm talking about? I've never seen that.
Are you talking about the rib guy? He was in Narcos?
Yeah.
I know the dude from...
Yeah, am I insane? Do they just look very similar?
The dude from Logan was in Narcos.
They're different dudes?
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman and other guy.
Oh, I thought they were the same guy. I'm talking about my guy's Boyd Holbrook.
Yeah, Boyd Holbrook, yeah.
Who was in Logan.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were the same guy. Whoa. Okay, you learn something every day.
All right. I'm gonna say French fries are the best.
I'm not gonna contest it.
You know what? Dark chocolate covered almonds could be good.
It's good. They're not as loud.
In a bowl, because you can just grab one.
And they're not as loud. It's a good one.
I think that's the best thinking food out there.
You don't have like all the almond dust at the bottom as well.
Yeah, jerky would be terrible.
You ever eat jerky until your jaw gets sore?
No.
That happens to me all the time. It makes me wonder how Killer Croc is eating all those people. I'd be like, you have a big strong jaw, but doesn't it get sore?
Yeah, eating people's got, even if you're a gator, eating someone's got to be tiring.
Could be. It's because I feel like there's a listener question in there I should be getting to.
All right, go for it.
Our third listener question comes from the Schlock or Not podcast out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I was actually listening to their podcast today as they were talking about that 80s dancing movie, Breakin' 2.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
With Jean-Claude Van Damme.
They managed to talk for over 2 hours about that movie. They talked longer than the movie, and I'm just sitting there like reliving that zany movie. They were a lot of fun. By the way, so the Schlockernaut podcast. You can find them, the Schlockernaut, on Twitter, and they ask, if you could have the hairdo of any movie character, which would you have to keep for life? Which you would have to keep for life. Whose would it be and why?
Nick Cage, Season of the Witch.
Ooh.
No, that's a joke. Here, let me tell you who I would do. And this guy appeared in some TV shows as well. He was in the pilot of The Following, and he had to wrestle with James Purefoy. He was in Resurrection Season 2, wrestling with Omar Epps. He made an appearance in American Reunion as Guy Who Pours Wine. And he
It was Dolph Lundgren's nephew, right?
Yeah, and he was also a dead peacekeeper he was a swim coach in Teen Wolf, and then a dead peacekeeper in Hunger Games.
Listeners, don't be fooled. Mark is talking about himself.
And here's the reason why.
In a past life.
Like actor Mark, background Mark, actually I was thrown into most of these scenes. I didn't want to do it. There was, hey, Mark, come here. But I liked that guy's hair. Manageable, worked with the head, fit around the receding hairline, easy upkeep, don't have to get it, I was like, man, I'd love, Ryan Reynolds' hair in, Deadpool. You know how much manicuring that is? So if I had that for the rest of my life, I would have to work a lot on that hair. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I want my hair.
Boy, you say that, but you still have yours. My hairline is definitely winning a race against me, and it's broadening the gap. So for me, I don't know. I can think of like 89 hairstyles that I like on a bunch of actors or their characters or something, but it really came down to me that it's like, what's easy? Like any Brad Pitt character ever.
From Legends of the Fall?
Like that's Legend or Achilles.
No, you had hair that was that long.
Right, but it wasn't the same. Mine was straight and dark and silky, so it's actually like when it's straighter, it's more noticeable if something is off about it. Whereas when it has that wave, you can get away with a lot more, man. And the other thing is that not just that though, like his Johnny Bravo hair in Cool World.
Oh yeah.
Like that was pretty crazy, his like semi pompadour. I don't know. He makes even his like very disheveled kind of not really Spike, but his disheveled look is actually a lot like your hair is a lot of the time in Seven.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I would just do that.
You know what I mean? But his hair in most movies, just about most I can think of, it's like, yeah, like that dude, he just won a real genetic lottery, like that jerk.
You know what bums me out is I will never be able to look as like depressed and like dreamily depressed as he did in Legends of the Fall, where he's on the boat crying.
Dude, that movie was heavy.
I mean, that guy did some good looking moping.
Such a heavy movie.
Yeah, I could never watch it again. But I mean, yeah, I guess 7 that would work. I would really like any hairdo from the 80s. Well, who had big hair in the 80s? Jeff Goldblum, The Fly.
I'd go more Jeff Goldblum as Malcolm. More age appropriate, being that I'm in my late 30s now. A little less business in the back kind of thing.
Woody Harrelson from Hunger Games. No, I would do Bill Murray's hair from Kingpin.
Ooh, bold pick.
Big comb over.
Very bold pick.
Big. But I would have to like really become very arrogant to make that work.
Just to own the Bill Murray-ness of that awful hair?
I would have to own a business or be a sports star. You know what I mean? He rocked that. He looked awesome with that hair.
I'm trying to think of other hair. Everything comes back to Brad Pitt though. He always had the good hair.
Brad with the good hair?
That dude. I mean, you're not going to pick like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber.
Ooh. I had a mullet in elementary school.
Oof.
I grew up in Hudson, Florida, man. That's what we did.
And you were a big kid, so you just looked like a menace. You probably looked like one of the Doyle's Rule kids.
I wish I would have been like smaller, so when I made really stupid fashion choices or hair choices, people would have like picked on me. So I'm like, oh, this isn't a good idea. But
right, yeah.
Since I was like a feral child who was like always, like running amok, like people were like, I'm not saying that to Mark. All right, so that was a good one.
What movie character hairdo? Thank you, Schlockernaut.
Yeah. So you should watch all those things I referenced and see those performances. They're pretty amazing.
I wouldn't want his hair from 12 Monkeys. I'd clarify that. His crazy long hobo hair, probably not for me.
Fair enough. That ending still sticks with me, by the way.
That movie was serious.
Yeah. So, speaking of why so serious, and then moving on to another Joker who was less popular, I had a pretty fun post that I wrote so I've been doing dumb data posts for I don't know, several years, and I wrote a post about the Joker setting up the weapon circle in Suicide Squad, and it was my third most viewed post. So jet skis was number 1, and then the post I wrote about Corona and Fast and Furious was number 2, and this one was number 3. So it racked up like 100,000 clicks in one day. So I mean, who knows how many people read it? But I mean, just as far as the 4,000 upvotes and 100,000 views, like.
How many upvotes on Reddit?
Like 4,000 plus, something like that.
That's a lot.
And, I had fun doing it. Because I remember watching Suicide Squad, and they had this massive scene where there's a weapons circle around Joker, and you can read this post on Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I looked at it, and I'm like, who set this up? So I did some digging into Joker. I did some digging into Jared Leto's Joker. And the weapons circle we're talking about is there's onesies. Just type in Suicide Squad weapon circle. There's over 450 items in it. And so I found about 8 different pictures. That was so much more. 8 different pictures, and I counted everything that was in the room.
Like, were those wooden spatulas or wooden spoons or something in there?
Piano keys.
Piano keys? Were there...
From 2 pianos.
There were roses?
Yeah, roses, knives, handguns, machine guns, watches. Oh, here. I got the whole list right here. 50 knives and 1 hammer, 1 Captain Ron DVD, 176 piano keys, 10 machine guns, 35 roses, 2 red Brondos, 13 bags full of drugs, 15 watches, 2 massive machine guns, 20 cash wads, 12 glasses, 17 tablets, 6 laptops, 1 club sandwich from a great deli around the corner, tip well, 4 onesies, 3 knives, 52 Joker cards, 10 grenades, 37 little tchotchkes, 10 handguns, 1 new Clive Cussler book, and 24 bottles of booze, 4 boxes of 6.
You know,
so
when you hear these items, you really got to wonder what the thought process was.
He loves Scarface.
But no. I mean, in the collection, like, he could have said, like, wouldn't it be cool if I did this, right? Yeah. But he had to get that stuff.
Well, I don't see. Here's what I think, and this is just me. I don't think he went out and got this stuff. I think all right, so the laptops, I don't think they had that many. The onesies, they had to buy. They had to go get drugs. They had to go get the cases of champagne. So what I think is he gave his henchmen a list. He has very loyal henchmen. So he gave them a list. This is what I need. They went and shopped. They put everything, like all the knives. They took apart the piano and they put like all the knives into a bin. They put the guns close to each other. So when he set it up, everything is off screen. There's some steps and there's some people watching him. So he had to just grab the bins and what he wanted. And I think he already had a diagram because he had to lay in the middle to make sure the knives wrapped around him. So he built it from the knives and the piano keys, and then he built the walkway, and then he built it out from there. But the biggest time suck. So I said it took him at a minimum of 65 minutes. Now, it could have taken him longer, but the shortest amount of time to set all this up was 65 minutes.
That sounds really fast, honestly. When you look at all that stuff and the way it's placed and...
Now, this is going to sound insane, but I put stuff in bins. I didn't set the whole thing up, but I kind of timed how far the walk would be to each part and how many he could set out at a time, and that's where I did it. So if I think he had a blueprint, because a lot of his jobs are very organized. So I think he had a blueprint, and then he went from there. So I think that's the shortest amount of time that he needed.
So did he just drink the Brondos while he was working?
Yeah, I mean, you need to mutilate your thirst. You know, and he had Captain Ron in the background.
Was it playing on all the screens at once?
Well, not the computer screens, because he found a way to, each one has a different website, and each screen is locked to stay, on. So none of them went to sleep. So he had to adjust those to make sure none of them went to sleep. And then, I don't think he would have let his henchmen go to the website, so he had to go to the website to find for each individual one. That was the biggest time suck for him, actually. And a lot of these items, it's not like, they're not meticulous. There's an order to them, but they're not super OCD. Like the knives, it's not like 3 inches between each one. The handguns are kind of pointed in a different area. A lot of the things aren't really lined up perfectly. So it was meticulous, but it wasn't fully OCD.
It was pretty ridiculous. And then he laid in the middle of it.
And then there was a camera above him, and he was...
that the director of photography was holding.
It's a good crane.
Like, there was a lot of craziness.
I mean, good crane shot. And I kind of love the comments, because normally people really hate when you mess with DC. DC fans over the last few years have become really embittered and embattled because of all the hate against their films. So they take everything really personally. So even if there are complaints to be made about something, they're like, no, shut up. Because I think they're just so, you don't understand. And I'm tired of Marvel people. And so when I wrote this, I kind of wrote it with the utmost respect. I was like, I'm not hating on this film. I'm not hating on Suicide Squad rib eating. I am just simply saying how long it took for him to do this weapon circle.
Do you think that the Joker made that weapon circle thinking that he had a bigger role in the plot of the Suicide Squad? Because that is like a Heath Ledger scale mania that we just saw, but not a Heath Ledger scale screen presence.
And you know what's crazy? I was originally going to do a post about The Dark Knight. You know that scene where the Joker has that massive cash pile?
It was big.
And everything was stacked. So this is my theory about it. It's impossible for them to start with one row and work their way up and keep everything as organized. And I don't think that they brought in cranes or any of that. I think there was a wooden structure underneath that cache. I think there was...
To make it look...
Like, I think it was like a tiered, like, not like a pyramid that was straight down, but it was kind of like, what's the... Just, I wish I could explain.
Like a ziggurat.
Yeah. Oh, like the Incan pyramids.
Ziggurat, right? With the squared off edges?
I think they built a wooden structure. And then they started at the top, and then they worked their way down. Because they had to get all the cash, and then they had to sort all the cash. I don't think they had time for that. So I think they built the wooden structure, which would still be less time. And then they put the cash on it in Dark Knight.
Okay. You know how, like, when you have a project of any sort that you put a lot of work into, like, it means a lot to you? Do you think that, like, after he set all that up, like, even if they were short a gun, like him and his henchmen, that he wouldn't want to take a gun from it because he wouldn't want to disturb the organization of the gun circle? Like, would he borrow a gun from it if they were low on a gun?
Yeah.
Or would he insist on keeping it that way?
These are his personal items. So I think...
Right, but I mean, he put all that work into it.
I think he took like 3 of them. I bet you he took his metal, like, his fancy handguns, the metallic ones he had. He probably took some of the knives, a bottle of champagne, and, he didn't take it all. His henchmen had to put everything back. Including the piano.
Okay, so so for all his craziness, the craziness isn't in the integrity of leaving that. Like, oh, you can't touch that. No, it's organized. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I think about when I see something like that. I think he's more just
like, all right, I'm cool. You guys clean it up.
Do you think that he sleeps in the middle of it?
No, I think it was just a one-time thing.
Do you think that he ever lets Harlot lay down with him?
I think this is just a him time. I think this is the way he relaxes.
It's his man cave?
This is his weapon cave.
Do you think that he was worried about getting all that sandy dust on his nice dapper outfits when he laid down on it?
It's a carpet.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was like a stony, dusty floor.
I have a picture on the website with the director line in the middle of it. I'm not quite.
Is it the same in that picture? I didn't think that was the same actual.
They just
thing.
They color corrected it.
I gotcha. So there was carpet. Okay. Still, he's got that nice vest. I don't know. It had me wondering.
Beforehand.
So, okay, ready? Like, let's say that Batfleck had been tracking the Joker's movements, and he realized that there was this secret location that the Joker had, and sometime while Joker wasn't there, Batfleck infiltrates it, breaks in just to, like, whatever, see what plans Joker has. and he comes across this design. What is going through Batfleck's
He's
head?
going to mess with some of the stuff. Yeah.
You think that's what he did? He was so grumpy
and you know
in
what
that.
the thing is? He's going to get a lot of henchmen killed. Because every time he messes with something, the Joker's like, who messed with my stuff? And then he probably kills one of them.
What do you think he would do? Do you think he put a scratch in the Captain Ron DVD?
Oh, and just at the best part, just before he says Ted's Island, he's like, what's the name of the island? It just freezes. He's like, no!
It's like, St. Kitts, right? Well, yeah, it's the island just left.
I think sometimes he switches out his Brondo with Powerade. I think he messes with I think he takes some piano. Like, I don't think the Joker would notice if 2 knives were missing. I don't think he would notice if, actually, I think the Captain Ron's about the best thing. I think he would mess with the websites. He would put like stupid, he would go to like, hellokittens.com and put all the tablets on like a kitten thing. I don't think the Joker would notice a few missing things.
Okay. I have one more Gun Circle Mania specific question. Now, we're talking about the creation of it and all the after effects, right? What idea could have, other than liking Scarface, like he had to decide to do this for some reason. Was he just doing this because he's crazy to emulate something that he saw that he liked?
That, and I think he seems impulsive as well. So I think he just thought, actually, I kind of wrote this. I think I said why he did this. I think it's a form of control in his world. So he has everything that's around him. The knives are pointing at him. I think that makes a statement. I also think it's a way to kind of control his world. And so maybe the articles he pulled up were about himself or Batman. I think the roses were for Harley. I think the drugs, he's obviously on them. I don't know. I just think it's a good, in the cash. I don't know. I just think it's a way to kind of control his surroundings. I think he liked that. And I think it was impulsive in how he set it up.
Are there any other cinematographical deconstructions of the Joker's behavior with the gun circle out there in the internet?
No, because everyone just talks about the onesies.
Like, is anyone else?
Like, ooh, he's a baby killer.
So when I saw those onesies, by the way, like, I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, are he and Harley planning on either having a child, adopting a child, kidnapping a child to take as their own? That was what when I saw that and thought about it, I'm like, someone's going to be missing a kid.
Yeah, I think someone said that he's a baby killer, but I think he likes Harley. I think he would like to get her, I think he'd like to have little jokers with her. But the relationship's too tumultuous, and they just haven't done it.
I liked Harley. As much as I didn't like the movie that they found themselves in, I liked the characters individually.
I like that Captain Boomerang tripped that one guy into trying to make an escape and he got his head blown off. And then Captain Boomerang was like, hey.
That was ridiculous. What a weird role. That was was that Jai Courtney? Yeah, that was odd. That whole movie, that was an interesting, I really wish that I did see more of our gun circle making Joker in this movie. And apparently Jared Leto thought that he was going to see a lot more of him in it too. A lot of his stuff got cut. So that's why I made the first guy. It's like, do you think he would have done this if he knew how little he'd be in the movie? It's like making that big thing. This is like one of those little appreciated things that you can pull out of a movie that got a lot of flack that could help the movie kind of slingshot itself into some cult favoritism in the future.
I just hope that the people who read this watch this scene now and they laugh about Captain Ron. That was my end goal.
I mean, Captain Ron's
because me, in every single post I write, I always slip in something that I love. Like, I always put little clues into things I like. So when something hits big, something I love is kind of in the people's minds. So I hope the main thing that got out of this post was that Captain Ron is amazing.
Well, and sometimes we got to remind ourselves too. There are things worth appreciating about Suicide Squad, even if I did not like that.
Yeah, so many people have hated on it, but I wrote this with love. Like, I thought it was fun. Like, I didn't write this to hate on it, and I think that's what people liked. Now, I did write something that a lot of people were angry about. Very angry.
All right. So now now that you brought it up, you have to share.
There's a current battle between DC and Marvel, and a lot of fanboys are doing this. And basically what it's come down to is DCEU, their 5 movies, and Marvel's 17, 18 movies. So everyone's like, Marvel's better. So for Rotten Tomatoes, I compiled every single TV show, animated film, direct-to-DVD animated film, and film since 1968. And I averaged out every DC score, and I averaged out every Marvel score, and DC was 65, and Marvel was 63. And the whole point of me writing this was, listen, it doesn't just come down to MCU and DCEU. Apart from Marvel's current run, which is Disney Marvel, is what I'm saying, there's Fox with Deadpool and X-Men. There's Sony with Spider-Man. And then on the DC side, there is all their TV shows on the CW, which are really popular. So basically what I said was, these, there's an ebb and flow to these. Sometimes DC's on top, sometimes Marvel's on top, but they've been going for so long that their scores are virtually identical. I mean, these are two learning companies. They're just learning how to deal with their properties, and so DC came out on top by 2 points, marginal. And so this went up on Rotten Tomatoes, and holy crap, dude.
So this analytical article that you wrote about what you're describing went on Rotten Tomatoes.
DC has the higher score, but you guys, the scores are basically the same, and these two companies have been making films and animated films and TV shows for a very long time. And there will be times when DC is just so hot right now. And there'll be times when Marvel hits a lull. You can't just look at, for me, in my opinion, right now Marvel has the lead. But that's because of their films, not because of their, like, there are these Batman movies that are released online, animated, on Blu-ray and digital now that are 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with a lot of reviews. And their TV shows, Arrow, Supergirl, they're all up in the high, Flash, they're all up in the high 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I just presented data. I didn't even make a case. I didn't say one was better than the other. I just say, hey, listen, this is what the data says, and it just kind of says, hey, they're close. But people are like, Rotten Tomatoes is Satan. Rotten Tomatoes can go to hell. They were paid by Warner Brothers to...
And as a writer for Rotten Tomatoes, so can you.
They were like, this is all a scam by Warner Brothers because Justice League isn't doing well. And then DC people were like, hey, this is fair. Then Marvel people were like, shut up.
Wait. They mean that your article that you wrote presenting these numbers was a scam.
They saw the title.
They're probably just reacting.
And then they just reacted. And if someone would have read it, they would have been like, oh, wow, like, we're in a really great time for comic book films and TV shows and direct-to-DVD. There's something for everybody. We're in a great time. But they read it, and, I don't think anybody read the whole post.
Well, I'll bet they did. I'll just bet that the people who read the whole post don't comment, because the thoughtful people who read the whole article were probably smart enough not to get into the snake pit of dogpiling comments at the bottom.
I don't know if you remember from our 21st Century post. We've had some pretty mean comments on our sites throughout the years. Just, I misspelled a word one time and some guy was like, oh, like, this is the last time I go to blogs. Like, this is horse shit. You're horse shit. Yeah.
Idiot.
And then on our 21st Century post, people are like, where's The Shining? I'm like, well, that's 20th century. So I think
which is a really interesting criticism, because even if you just read the title and then looked at the list, that's pretty, that just speaks to our education system.
And even the funny thing is, I know we did the top 21 horror films, which people could kind of argue with, but when I always did the data posts, I wasn't really making super points. I'm like, hey, this is what the data says. I mean, it's not even that super in depth. I'm just giving you these numbers because this is what I put together. So I didn't manipulate them to win anything. Here's numbers. And people just were like, this sucks, you suck. And I'm like, wait, what?
You gave a methods, on my suggestion, I think, you actually gave a methods section.
I had a full PDF as to how we did the data. No one read it. And so this one, though, just on like Facebook and in the comments and on various outlets, like, DC people are being nice. Like, they're like, hey, this is like 50 years of stuff. Like, it's a very close competition. And Marvel people are like, this is bullshit. Like, DC sucks. And this one guy's like, this should only be about the 5 DCEU films and the 17 Marvel films. And then people are like, well, what about X-Men? And what about Fantastic Four? And the guy's like, no, that doesn't matter. And I didn't comment. And actually, I stopped reading. But just the anger.
So here's a thought, right? Okay. So Marvel is like in the process of or is going to acquire Fox. So it's going to own all that X-Men and Fantastic Four stuff. Now, realistically, just because of the arcs they've had, they're probably just going to reboot X-Men and reboot Fantastic Four yet again, right? Probably. I'm just giving probablys. But hypothetically, they could just continue the exact same storyline that was left off by Fox. So if Marvel was to just take the exact cast from the last X-Men movie and roll them into the next Marvel EU movie, doesn't that in hindsight make the other X-Men EU, because you are now respecting everything in the Fox line that led to the movie crossing over those characters into the Marvel EU X-Men integration.
Yeah.
So if they do that, right, when they buy it, because they're in the process, right? It's negotiating right now, like 60 billion, or has it happened by now?
It's imminent with like 54 billion.
Okay. So, but this is just going to happen. It makes sense. Fox could be like 20% more, and they're going to be like, we can make shows forever. Yeah, we're going to do this. So this is going to happen. And then whether anyone out there likes it or not, the people who are like, this is bullshit, like they might retroactively make some of the stuff from these X-Men movies Marvel EU canon. Now, again, they're probably just going to reboot and make sure that it fits perfectly and integrates things. But this is something that can happen in the movie world. Like, people are getting so tied to it, like we're talking about H.P. Lovecraft's work. Well, Lovecraft is not around anymore, and he's not writing anymore, so it's a finite data set that will never change. Whereas when you talk about this Marvel EU versus DC EU stuff, this stuff is constantly changing. Even if you don't look at 50 years of movies and shows, like, it is ever evolving. Like you said, there's also the shows, and they're going to start integrating show lines into the movie storyline. Like, why can't we all just be happy that we're getting a shit ton of superhero? Don't get me wrong, I'm a critical jerk, and I know it. I am. I'm a critical jerk, but every now and then I can take a step back and say, can we just take off our asshole hats and limit ourselves to the one asshole behind ourselves and just be thrilled that we're getting all these movies? Like, I think it's pretty awesome. Even if I poo-poo Suicide Squad, you know, like, I'm not unhappy I watched it.
But
I bought it.
You're sitting there going, yeah, like,
bullshit.
It's just, I don't know. I think if a movie's bad, you can. I don't think you can say, like, for me, I hate saying that was stupid. I'll be like, I don't like this scene in this context. Like, you break it down why you don't like it. Why don't you like it? Like, I like to have some explanation with my criticism.
I would like to give a 36-point thesis on why Steppenwolf was stupid.
Vivisected. So, I don't know, do you think Marvel or Disney's doing this because there's a lot of rumors that Infinity War is going to kill off some major people? And so they're going to be left with, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Black Panther,
rebooted X-Men, X-Force, Deadpool, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is kind of going off on Disney saying that R-rated movies are done, but Disney owned Miramax back in the 90s, and Miramax put out some pretty gnarly R-rated films. At the end of the day, Disney's about money.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens there. And I am worried and apprehensive about it because I am a Ryan Reynolds fan, and my whole life actually was a Deadpool fan. And despite that, I don't view this as negative no matter what happens to the Deadpool franchise, because I think overall this is going to be a good thing for my movie, my cinephile, lifetime. This is an unfortunate possible hiccup in the things that I may or may not get to enjoy, right? But I'm hopeful. And those movies were very successful. I think Disney knows that. So, fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. And even if they go PG-13, I'm still going to like it. It's just not going to be the same.
I think Logan was a perfect way for Hugh Jackman to go out. But imagine Hugh Jackman in an Avengers movie.
Well, again, man, like it's one of those things where once it's Disney plus Fox, that's a hell of a checkbook. So he can say, I'm done. I can't stay in shape like this. I'm too old. I want to do Oscar stuff. And then they're going to be like, but look at the number that I'm sliding across the table on this piece of paper. And if they want him, I think that they've got a good shot of getting him for at least one last run.
I would go see the movie, but Logan just ended so perfectly. And it really did. It.
I agree.
I don't know if I can look at Logan the same again, even though I think it should be nominated for an Oscar this year. I watched that. So Megan got me the Steelbook noir version from Best Buy. Should like eBay it because people are selling it. Whatever. But the black and white version of Logan, you're like, wow, Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman are so good in this. I don't want that cheapened by him coming back. But I mean, obviously I don't have that say and I would watch the movie anyway, so
Yeah, but well, here's the other thing too, is that when they acquire Fox, they're going to get, all the X-Men stuff, Deadpool, etc. Cable is going to happen, and I expect it's going to be popular like the first Deadpool movie. Cable will be in Deadpool is what I mean. I don't know about the subsequent movies. But either way, that's almost certainly going to be popular. It was a big fan favorite for people who liked X-Force, which came about after X Factor and all that with Deadpool. And so if that all works well, when cable comes into play, time travel comes into play.
Yeah.
And when time travel comes into play, things like the X-Men First Class that was really just viewed as a prequel, it's no longer even a statement of prequel. It is a statement of parallel alternate timelines. Now that can be a pain in the ass, and I know that the writers should know that they don't want to get into the wormhole of we can do anything we want because of this. You only get to reboot Star Trek once and call it a time wormhole, But at the same time, they can do a movie or a set of movies that have Cable and or Deadpool going back in time and dealing with something else with a different set of characters who don't fit in a current timeline for something that was reboot. I don't even know where this thought process is going, but this is a wormhole. And Bishop is another super powerful kind of psychic that opens doors.
X-Men 280 through 290 is one of my favorite comic book runs ever. And
wait, was that a part of the Executioner's song? Is that what you're talking about?
It's the one where Bishop comes in, Storm and Gambit. Like, there's a cover of them kissing. Then it's just a standalone cover of Storm. But there's a really amazing thing with the Sentinels where I forget what essentially the guys from Logan are battling the Sentinels. And there's a scene, like in the comic book, one of the panels, the Sentinel puts its hand on some guy's head and uses like its wrists or palm blasters to blow a dude's head off.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you get a chance, read Uncanny X-Men 280 through 290. I would love that storyline. I don't know. I'm excited. And I like Fantastic Four. I'd like to see... Chris Evans made a joke. He's like, I want a road trip movie with Johnny Storm and Cap cruising around.
Right. I remember. I saw that.
But no, I don't know. I think we did a DC justice, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to say something else, too. I'm going to say that Suicide Squad, for all the flack I like to give it, did one thing better than Justice League. Presented a woman's butt in good taste. Because when we see Harley's butt, one, it has mesh over it, and two, it was conducive to her character.
It was straight at it.
Right, it wasn't even a cheap it wasn't a sneaky tactic, I should say. Yeah, it was upfront. It was a part of her character. She commented about it in the dialogue. Yeah. Like, it was a part of her sultry little whatever. Whereas when they did it in Justice League, they just took a little Patty Mullins magic away from Wonder Woman for a couple moments.
So what he's talking about, there's like this scene where she jumps off this, a truck. And there's a camera shooting up, so it's like an upskirt shot on Wonder Woman. And a lot of people have written about this, and normally I don't like it when people nitpick one shot in a film, but it seemed really invasive to me. I was like...
Well, and there was a different scene as well where, like, you're viewing from behind her from, lower back to mid-thigh. And again, you don't see anything overly provocative, but...
And I know we're two dudes talking about this, but my wife Megan was like 1, 2... 3. She's like, "Ooh, that one's bad." Like it really, people are gonna say there's a lot of shirtless dudes in it, but none of them had like a ball shot from yeah,
or a bulge
from like
or whatever.
up,
Yeah, like it's.
I don't know what.
Look, and these are both beautiful women that I find attractive. Fine, but it's like I want the context right, and when you show me a great character, I don't want a little thing like that to cheapen it. It takes it away from
her too. I think it kind of like takes it out of her. It was all about her will. Wonder Woman, how she didn't, the first movie, she didn't really understand a lot of this men first culture and all that. And when you kind of do those shots to the person, it cheapens it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There we go.
But hey guys, guess what? The Alabama vote was in, so there's hope for the world.
Yeah, no politics.
All right. Well, those are all my thoughts.
Yeah. No, I'm good. You wanna do some plugs? Who are we plugging?
That's sure. And since we came back, we really did get such a quick resurgence of listener question feedback in a very, very short period of time when we decided we were going to record, get back to our regular schedule. So I just want to again thank Movie Graveyard last week, Josh and Liz of Bloody Date Night last week, and Weird Nerd 42. And in this episode, again, it was The Fear Merchant on Twitter. They have their own podcast as well. It's called The Bazaar, as in where Aladdin shops, not The Bizarre, which is where my thoughts go most of the time. We had Marvel Zombie K, and we had The Schlockernaut, which again has their own podcast. So we've started to get a lot more attention from other podcasters over the years, and that's become a wonderful place of sharing and co-promotion. And I'll say real co-promotion, not just I'm going to retweet you because you retweeted me. Now all the people that we reach out to and who are giving us these questions, they're people who have listened to us and who I listen to as well. And we're coming into a nice organic, well-established spot, I feel like. Of course, I'm saying that like I need to qualify us. I'm talking to a Rotten Tomatoes writer.
No. No, I mean, they're happy though. Like, people have been legit happy that we're back.
I'm happy we're back. And again, so all those listeners who are giving us those questions, thank you so much. And just because you gave us listener questions doesn't mean we don't want more from you.
More. And one of these listener questions led us to talking about T-800 being dropped into a ball pit.
Yeah, that was the cheer merchant for the holiday season from Ireland.
Jesus. Oh, I love that. I love Ireland. I think my favorite place on earth is Belfast. My favorite bar is the Duke of York. You can get the best pint of Guinness in a mat. I'm being pretentious this episode, talking about my writing and then my stupid roles.
Hey, you are talking to our listener from Ireland.
Thank you very much. Normally I complain at our listener questions because they make me answer the questions or they're too long. But I appreciate you.
All right. Well, those are all my plugs
and
for today.
If you all could do us a favor, just please go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. We just need, well, I guess we don't need it but I mean, it's just nice. Like, get on there, let us know what you think. We'd love to get and help out your podcast. Well, I'm not saying tit for tat, but I'm just saying get it there, rate, review, subscribe. Spread the good word of MFF, and we appreciate you.
Cheers. Good night, folks.